It's Friday 5 time. I'm Dan. Each week I look to answer 5 popular health and fitness questions from the week that was. It's one of my favourite parts of the week. And so we're going to kick this thing off right now. So the first question we've got is, someone asked me personally, how do you keep yourself motivated to exercise? Good question. All right, motivation's a big thing, right? When you have it, you feel great. When you don't have it, you don't feel so great. And so for me personally, I'll give you an example. Like today, I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling a little bit flat. There's a little voice in my head saying, well, I can't really be bothered. I can leave it to tomorrow. And sometimes you have those battles internally, right? And so I get that. And that's life. You're going to have those things happen. So what really motivates me is that the feeling I get during and after exercise. I know that if I go and I suck it up and I get there, that I'm going to feel better for it and my mood will change as a result. And, some of the best ideas I have are when I'm actually working out as well. So that's what motivates me. Even when I'm feeling a little bit flat, I know if I just get there and I get through it, I'm going to feel better for doing something, and that's all that matters. Now, sometimes you lose that little battle. Sometimes, you just can't be bothered, and that's okay. But if you continue to let that process beat you and you can't be bothered one day, then the next day, then the next day, it can quickly turn into 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and in 6 months you haven't exercised. And that's a very common thing for people. So the trick is that you can't let it beat you too often, because eventually it can snowball. And so you need to keep going back to why you exercise, why you enjoy it, and just remember the feeling you get from doing it, man. You're always going to feel better as a result from doing it, aren't you? So just get there. You have to play a little game and suck it up, so be it, and feel better as a result. I think this is why you can't be an all or nothing person when it comes to making health a lifestyle, because you may have heard of the analogy, your health is a marathon, and it kind of is. With a marathon, you've got 42 kilometers of track. If, 1 kilometer in, you're not feeling it, there's still 41 other kilometers to kind of get that feeling back. So, don't think that, 5 minutes into your exercise journey, I'm not feeling motivated, that's it for me, or things aren't going my way. That's not going to help you. You've still got a long way to go. You can turn this thing around. In a 100-meter sprint, if you slip at the start, you're over. It's all or nothing in a 100-meter sprint. But your health and lifestyle isn't a sprint. Take your time. It's okay to feel bad some days. You've just got to try and chip away each week and try to get better at that journey and make sure that you're staying kind of sustainable with it, rather than going short bursts of great motivation and then bursts of nothing. Doing that over time isn't going to get you anywhere. You're going to pretty much flatline throughout. So it's the people who are able to kind of chip away each week and be sustainable through their health and fitness, the ones that really kind of maintain a healthy lifestyle. And that's where we want people to be. Hope that helps. Number 2, what weight loss should I be aiming for? I've lost 3 kilos in 4 weeks, but I know people who have lost more. All right. Hey, first of all, I know this person. Great work on losing 3 kilos in 4 weeks. There's a lot of people out there who'd love to do that. So that's a fantastic result. Great job. But it is a big thing, isn't it? A lot of people don't know what's normal and what's not normal in terms of what they should be losing and not. There is a standard kind of thing out there for healthy weight loss, which is about 0.5 to 1 kilo per week is considered healthy in terms of sustaining it. Again, it's not about how quickly you lose it. Let's just make that really clear. It's not about how quickly you lose the weight. It's how you lose it that really counts. I'm sure we all know people, I do, who have lost a stack of weight quickly, but they've put that weight back on as quick as they've lost it. And so again, that's that yo-yoing effect, the diet mentality where, anyone can lose weight by not eating. Like, that's not hard. I mean, it's hard mentally to do it, but anyone can do that. It's effective to lose weight. But is it the right way to lose weight? Is it going to really help you in the long run? Or are you just going to have complications moving forward because of that, the fact that you can't sustain that? And so you're better to try and look at some areas where, again, some 1 or 2, 3 areas where you feel like you can improve a little bit. Your portion's a little bit too big. Do you have a little bit too much of the grog? The areas where you can kind of just make little changes first. Because I guarantee you those changes, it's the small changes over time that lead to the big overall picture. We've had people lose 20, 30, 40, 50, 65 kilos of body weight, and they haven't done it by just radically changing something overnight. They've done it by a process. And so 3 kilos in 4 weeks is fantastic. What I would say is don't compare yourself to other people. I know it's easy to do. It's kind of a natural thing to do. But when you start doing that, you start thinking, oh, am I doing good enough? You start doubting yourself. That person's doing better. There's always going to be someone out there who's maybe doing it a little bit better. That's okay. What you need to do is focus on what works for you, and that's really all that matters. And so 3 kilos in 4 weeks is fantastic. Keep going. About half a kilo to a kilo a week is awesome. Well done. Number 3, what are some healthy cereals? Okay, cereals, a big one. So healthier cereals would be, you kind of want to look for cereals that are lower in sugar and higher in fiber. Now, that's always good. All cereals are carbohydrate based. So you want the lower simple sugars and the higher carbohydrates, the higher fiber, which is good for gut health and things like that as well. So you're looking for, here's 5 I've got for you. So Wheat Bix, cool. Cornflakes, you've got Vitabrits, you've got like Carmen's fruit-free muesli and say natural oats. So they're 5 healthier alternatives, much better than your things like Cocoa Pops, Rice Bubbles, Fruit Loops, things like that, which are much pumped higher with simple sugars and added in all the flavorings and stuff. So they're 5 good ones. Now, if you want to add a bit more flavor and stuff to it, then the best thing you want to do is you want to add things like, berries or fruit or things like that to kind of give it a bit more bang as well if you want a bit more flavor. Like, for instance, for me, I'll have Wheat Bix a couple of times a week, and I'll always have some chopped banana on top of it rather than, a couple of teaspoons of sugar, which is what I did for about 30 years of my life. And so for me now, I get a lot more of my sugars and stuff through actually fruit and things like that, which is good because it comes with more vitamins, more minerals, a lot more added kind of bonuses rather than just putting teaspoons of sugar on top. So I hope that helps. Number 4, is working out in the early morning better for you? That's a question we've got before. So to answer your question, no, not necessarily. There'll be people that maybe tell you that it is. In my experience, it's better. It's just whatever works for you is what's best. So if you're a morning person and you like training in the mornings, then awesome, train in the mornings. The benefits to training in the morning are you get your day off to a good start. That helps. I think people say, you get your metabolism started and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, that kind of helps as well, I suppose. And then you get it out of the way early if that helps as well. But if you're an afternoon person, I know this person is, if you're training in the afternoons and that suits you better and you're not kind of a morning person, there's benefits to that too. You might have more energy in the afternoon. You might feel like you need to, kind of wake up a bit and eat through the day to be able to do your best. And that's okay. For me personally, I'm more of an afternoon person. I don't train early mornings much. I find that I struggle to kind of wake up and just get it straight into an exercise program. That's because it's not what I'm used to. So it's whatever works for you in the long run is what's best. If you don't have any other option but to do mornings, then yeah, do the mornings. There's definitely benefits to it. But if the afternoons are still working for you, don't think that you have to change because there's more benefits to morning training, because there's really not. There's no kind of science that says that you have to do one or the other. So I hope that helps. Last question, number 5. Why does foam rolling always hurt? I left this one to the end. That was a great question. Foam rolling. For those of you who know what foam rolling is, you'll know that it doesn't tickle, but it is so beneficial for you. And I'm going to explain why it's so important and why it's the most underrated part of any fitness program. So what happens, right, when you foam roll your muscles? If you don't know what foam rolling is, I don't have one here, but it's like a little cylindrical thing. It's usually like it's kind of like a pipe, and then it's covered with like foam, and so you use it to roll your muscles out and things like that. And it's basically, in fitness, it's called myofascial release. So it's like a massage, like having a little massage buddy with you. And there's all different ways you can roll. You can roll different muscles from your upper body to your back, down to your hips and your legs. And the reason why it's good to do as a thing on the side, just a couple of minutes I say for people, you don't have to do it every day. If you can do it every day, great. But even if you just aim for 3 days a week for 5 minutes a day, that'll help. Because what's happening is when you're exercising, especially if you're exercising, a couple of days a week and consistently, your muscles build tension in your joints and build tension as well. And so without the release of that tension, things can build up and you start getting knots, you start getting little strains or a tweak here, a tweak there. And so it's not to say that foam rolling prevents that totally, but it certainly does help in preventing that stuff from happening. So if you feel like when you get on a roller, it's super painful, it's actually a sign that you need to do more of it because you are quite tight. And so to help with this, if you go to, we've got a YouTube videos with all the different foam rolling types and different levels that you can go to, because there's beginner levels and there's more advanced levels of how to roll. And I'll walk you all through that in the YouTube video. So go to the CoreFit Newcastle YouTube page if you want to learn how to foam roll properly. And it's a great preventative strategy to help, fight off things like tweaks and niggles. And, when a niggle starts and it turns into something else, it can really, before you know it, it can turn into, I can't train now because I've done something to my hip or my back. And you don't want that. So I hope that helps. Keep working through it. When you do foam rolling, it shouldn't be really any more than like a 6 out of 10 pain. If it's too painful, then you need to back off a little bit, or maybe you need to try a different strategy for that kind of muscle. But, if you tighten up too much and tense up too much because of the pain, then the muscle isn't relaxing enough and you're probably not going to get the benefit out of foam rolling. So hope that helps. Go to the YouTube channel. They're the 5 questions for today's Friday 5. Thanks very much. Well done to all our core fitters on another fantastic week of training. I was super proud of all of you guys who rock up each week and give it your best and have fun along the way. So any questions coming at me for next week, let me know. And other than that, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.